primer lugar, queremos agradecer a todo el equipo organizador del Festival de las Ideas, a Casa Árabe, al Círculo de Bellas Artes y, bueno, por supuesto, a todos ustedes que en esta tarde de sábado han venido a compartir este momento con nosotros. Como saben, va a haber traducción simultánea. Liana Badr va a expresarse en inglés. Voy a hacer la presentación en castellano. Y las preguntas también, a lo mejor alguna intercalo en inglés, según cómo vayamos viendo las dinámicas. Pero, sintéticamente, ¿quién es Liana Badr? Es una de las escritoras árabes más conocidas. Liana es, además, una persona polifacética, es, además de escritora, poeta, narradora, ha escrito guiones para películas, por tanto, es también muy solvente en el guión cinematográfico y es una creadora palestina. ¿Qué significa esta identidad palestina? Pues bueno, significa que a lo largo de su vida ha experimentado lo que supone el exilio, la diáspora, el retorno y también lo que es la vida bajo ocupación. Esa ha sido su biografía y esos son, de alguna forma, también los rasgos identitarios de la persona que nace palestina. Ella nació en Jerusalén, se crió en Jericó, estudió en Jordania, allí fue en Jordania donde se refugió su familia después de la ocupación israelí de Cisjordania, después de la guerra del 67, la guerra de los 6 días, donde Israel ocupó todo el territorio palestino. Y después todavía hubo exilios posteriores, de Amán pasaron al Líbano. Y después también ocurrió el Septiembre Negro en 1970. Como pueden ver, todo ocurre en muy poco tiempo y en muy poco tiempo ella tuvo que moverse de domicilio con toda su familia. De ahí vivió en Líbano, donde vivió la guerra civil libanesa, Siria, Túnez, que saben que fue donde se refugió buena parte de la Organización para la Liberación de Palestina en ese trasiego, Jordania de nuevo y finalmente en 1994, cuando se produce el retorno de la autoridad palestina, tras los acuerdos de Oslo, volvió a ubicarse en Ramallah. Por tanto, su trayectoria vital y también creativa es la historia de Palestina y de Oriente Medio en estas últimas décadas. Ella suele retratar en sus obras personajes femeninos muy dispares. Y una de las cosas más interesantes de tener la oportunidad de tenerla con nosotros es el retrato de las mujeres, la narración de las realidades a través de la voz de las mujeres que muchas veces los periodistas no conseguimos hacerla aflorar o evidente tanto en esas narraciones mediáticas como académicas. Muchas veces las mujeres, por no decir casi siempre, están invisibilizadas bajo esas historias de desarraigo y ocupación. Bueno, pues Liana, bienvenida a esta conversación y antes de introducirnos en su experiencia personal y creativa, sí que me gustaría pedirte tu opinión sobre qué te parece la situación actual que se está viviendo en Palestina, tanto en Cisjordania como en Gaza. ¿Hacia dónde va Palestina?
I think that we are under a colonization of all Palestine, and the Palestinian people are going to resist this as they were since 80 years. We have steadfastness, especially between the families, the women, and if we were talking about women now, I think that women, they are very special people in all the societies. In general, women are the mothers, they are the sisters, they are the caretakers. But for us in Palestine, they should defend their families because they are under the genocide. Genocide means to kill a lot of people and to try to get rid of them, which is something chauvinist, which is something very bad for any society. And for the Palestinians, they are also facing the sociocide that the Israelis are trying to kill the society itself by erasing the buildings, by destruction of the homes. Home is a very good meaning to represent the women. Women are the builders of homes. And now this colonization is trying to destroy all the homes, or every building in Gaza. So they think they can get us rid of our memory, of our heritage, of our history, of our steadfastness, because if you destroy the home of somebody, you will destroy him. But for us, what become as a usual way of facing all these terrors is just to try to fight this by preserving the family, taking care of everything, all the details, and even to feel brave, not to be under fear or under all this pressure and all this bad feeling that you are annihilated, that they are killing you, that there are a lot of new weapons against them. So what I feel, and I feel proud about it, that for the women, especially old women who we were thinking before that they are old, they can't make anything. Now in Gaza, even with the ruins, they are picking the children, they are going to be like press workers, they are building homes. We don't have homes, actually, we have tents, but even with the tent, there is women always to keep the family alive and to keep also the human being, because without women, you will not have children. Also, there is something special that they are losing their children. If you see the data of the women who are going to give birth, it is horrible. The doctor said that they are under a lot of malnutrition, a lot of the not having the medications, not having anesthesia for the surgeries, but they are, they are strong and they are working to keep our life and our continuation in the world.
You use often social side concept. Ella utiliza, no sé si se han dado cuenta, de un concepto socialcidio. Hablamos mucho de genocidio, pero el concepto que Liana utiliza en muchas ocasiones es hablar de esa aniquilación del sentido de la construcción social. Claro, ella es una escritora. Como escritora, el creador, la creadora, necesita relacionarse, necesita hablar, contactar. Hablas mucho de socialcidio, social side, es en inglés. ¿Qué significa la resistencia en esa situación para una persona que crea, que intenta sacar una creación literaria?
I had the opportunity to live in Lebanon 10 years, and I worked as a journalist through that time. Before that, I was born in Jerusalem. The only place in Palestine I knew was the West Bank. But after I went to Lebanon, I have been acquainted to the women of the camps. The Palestinian women of the camp in Lebanon came from the places of 1948, which means the villages and cities which Israel invaded on 1948. So the refugees there, when I was working I was volunteering against illiteracy and to talk with women about health, about some social things. But I discovered a very rich heritage of proverbs and of stories, of history. And I discovered there that they have their own voice. They don't talk the same like anybody. They have their own slogans, their own signs. It was a certain place where you see that women is also, they are the juice of the history. All the history is inside them, and they are also very cynical. They were making proverbs, jokes, very cynical and feeling a lot of self-trust. And so they weren't weak or because they are refugees, they are like this. So I began to learn from them. And I want to bring their voice to my stories. So I changed the way I work. First novel I wrote, which was very successful and had a lot of recognition. It was very poetical, and I had very good language. But I felt that if I want to talk about them, I should know how are the roads to capture this kind of thinking and this language. So second work for me was trying to see the world in their eyes. Later on, with all the things I wrote, especially one of my novels called The Eye of the Mirror, I make a kind of multi-voices for many women inside, because I want to write the Palestinian history by the eyes of women. All the time, the history is written just by the eyes of men. So when they wrote, as an example, the Alexander the Great, or this man or the other hero, nobody mentioned the woman, like just they mention it in love stories like Helen and Troy, as an example. But nobody think what was the woman doing. They were also facing the death, the weapons, the bombs, everything like men. And they can make their own history. So I felt that I can make the personal history mixed with the big history of everybody, of all the people. So that's why when I worked The Eye of the Mirror, it was about the presence of the Palestinian people in Lebanon between 1974 to 1977. And I worked around 7 years trying to have life in these voices to make like a symphony, not just to have one voice, which is the man who come. He is our lover, we like him, he is in our souls, but he can't impose on us just one voice. We should have multi-voices in the writing, especially the voices of women.
Liana, la experiencia de Liana en los campos de refugiados de Líbano, que para los que han estado en esos campos son los de más difíciles condiciones. Hay campos de refugiados palestinos dentro de Palestina, pero también en Siria, en Jordania y en Líbano. En Líbano es donde viven las condiciones más duras, tienen vetados el acceso a determinados trabajos, no pueden vivir fuera de los campos. Entre los palestinos refugiados en Líbano tienen un padecimiento mucho más mayor que el resto. Como creadora que has convivido, y además muchos de tus personajes son mujeres refugiadas, ¿qué has aprendido personalmente como escritora y como mujer de la lucha personal por la supervivencia de las mujeres de los campos de refugiados, de las refugiadas?
I think that for Palestinian women, they are always inside the struggle in many ways. First, I like to talk about the folkloric dresses we have. We have in Palestine a very rare and unique kind of dresses that UNESCO said that this is one of the treasures of human beings. Because in Palestine, many people of many nations live, and they have their stories, their histories, and all of this was stitching. You can see it on the Palestinian dress. You can see the stars, the flowers, the houses, many kinds of trees, many kinds of animals. You can read the history through these dresses. And it was something made by hand. Every woman had to make her own dresses for her many stages in life. So for us, the Palestinian women saved this memory, and they love, and there were, and till now, there are a great passion toward this. Wherever you go, you find people make the same things, the same dresses, because they are part of their history. And women tried also to give this to the coming generations, not to keep it for themselves. So you feel a lot of new generation is very interested in these dresses, in the folkloric dance, in the dabke, in the songs, the old songs. So I think that women were saving our memory, and they still make this. In other thing, if you see in Gaza now, they are trying to save everybody around them. What is making me feel pain about their situation, not just the horrible weapons and the new kind of weapons they are using against my nation there, but also the suffering of these women. Because in the tents, after the Israelis destroyed 75% of Gaza, and people were obliged to live in the tents, there were no health places, even like toilets they don't have, because there is millions caged in a small cage in this area or in that area. And whenever the Israelis declare that this area is safe, they come and bombarded it, especially for the schools. So you see the women have a problem. They don't have sanitary towels. Mm-hmm. And it is very difficult for young girls, because it let them feel shame, and they don't know how to find things. Even for the houses, when they bombarded it, they didn't leave anything, no clothes, nothing to have. So this is also make a very big suffering for them. Also, there is problem for the women who gave birth for children. If they can't go to a hospital because all the hospitals are damaged, how they can give birth, and how also depressing and embarrassed feeling to give birth in a tent for children. I knew about women who are not going to toilet because they are feeling very shy and feeling very embarrassed. Because if there were toilets somewhere, any toilet in 3 meters, 150 people will use it. So women feels embarrassed to go there. So even this necessary or these simple things for a human being, they are not permitted to have.
Sí, la narración de los pequeños problemas que son grandes problemas que hacen la vida de las mujeres en una situación de ocupación y de guerra muchísimo más complicada. Liana, siempre en tu obra, en tus escritos, te muestras crítica con la lectura nacionalista que hacen los hombres, la vivencia nacionalista masculina, patriarcal. ¿Crees que hay una resistencia diferente de las mujeres palestinas respecto a la de los hombres? ¿Las mujeres palestinas leen la identidad palestina de una forma diferente?
Yes, I think so, because in the old generation in Palestine, there were strict laws or strict basics, not women to show off in writing, because writing is a kind of work that gives you ambiance or gives you a kind of feeling proud more than the others. So anyway, there were sensitivity against this. But for the new generation now, they are writing very good things, and they are very brave, very daring. They can write everything. I think also that during maybe getting back to internet, it was one of the factors that make the new generation of girls and women brave and feeling confidence in themselves, because they can connect with the world more than before, and because the society can accept this if it is not related to one woman. But if you have a many of women who are writing, making their ideas, it is less problem for them. So I think this gap between the generations, it is not strong like before. Maybe there is some remains of it, but in general, it is not the same. And what also changed for women in Palestine, that after 1994, there were many new colleges, and there were widespread universities in Palestine. And even there were the open university where women can study inside. And for me, when I got back to Palestine in 1994, the first time I was there weren't a lot of girls, of women coming to work in the Ministry of Culture where I was working. But after that, it became widespread coming to the ministry. And I found that a lot of my colleagues who were mothers and who have a lot of responsibility, they were studying in the universities, in the open university or other things. And after that, it spread in all Palestine. Now in Gaza, even between the victims, you find a lot of journalists, of engineers, women engineers, you find a lot of academics, women academics. So it is really something very fresh for us and refreshing, that women were all the time proceeding. They weren't just stand on the same place.
Sí. Esto que comentas, Liana, es cierto cuando vas, bueno, en Palestina hay muchísimas universidades, bueno, las de Gaza destruidas ahora, pero encuentras en cada ciudad varias universidades. Hay un interés casi obsesivo por la educación en los palestinos y las palestinas, ¿no? Esto es una evidencia. Las mujeres palestinas, incluso después del matrimonio, se han incorporado, esto lo hablábamos antes, al estudio de las universidades, pero esto, ¿cómo se entiende en una sociedad palestina en la que ha habido un aumento de las visiones conservadoras y, bueno, con una presencia mayor del islamismo? ¿Ha habido un retroceso a causa de la extensión de las fuerzas conservadoras en Palestina respecto a la situación de la mujer?
I think that things related to places sometimes. In the cities, you can see a lot of new professions for women, and a lot of women who are going to study, although they are mothers and they have other responsibilities. But it is not the same, it's not the same rate in the villages, because first, it's far away from the universities, and second, it is more conservative, that a woman, if she wants to go, maybe her mother-in-law will stand and make a problem, why you leave your children for me or something. But it was very easy and spontaneous in the cities. And although there were, after the establishment of the Palestinian Authority, there were a lot of professions to be full with women. So this also let women feel more confident and more stable. And I knew a lot of women who has many children. Sometimes she have 5 children as an example, and then she is making BA, baccalaureate, or license or something, or MA. A lot of women are making MA. A lot of women in Palestine took the opportunity to have to go to abroad to make new specializations or make directora or something like this. So what is going on? That we are a very passionate society, that we want to grow. We want to have more chances, and at the same time, the Israeli army only work is just to choose all the families, killing everybody. They don't care about women, about children, about all these tragedies we are facing daily. And I am very amazed that a lot of states who are saying things about the Western civilization. Where is the civilization if you accept this to be going, and if you accept the fascist kind of genocide, because they are killing people, a lot of people daily. And also to accept the sociocide, to make the Palestinian without society, without knowledge. They destroyed all the libraries in Gaza. In Gaza, there were very big libraries, very well-known and old libraries. It was all destroyed. For the women, for the children, they destroyed the schools. This year, there were 11,000 students who were killed till now in 1 year. Sí. So what we expect, unless strongest powers should interfere, because this is not a place for cowboy just to kill and to...
Cada vida tiene el mismo valor, pero es verdad que ha habido muchos escritores, muchos poetas, muchos profesores, infinidad, miles de alumnos muertos. La mujer en la guerra, tú como creadora, tú como escritora, en ese ambiente de destrucción, de duelo, que claro, en la distancia, como bien comentas, nos puede doler, pero no lo sufrimos. Pero tú como escritora que estás viviendo en carne propia de tu pueblo, ¿cómo es posible poner en marcha el proceso de creación, el proceso de elevar una ficción cuando la no ficción es tan agresiva y tan dura?
Yes, I think that I am belonging to the writing and to express the sound of women, because this is the sound of my soul. I express what they feel and what I feel because of them. And I think that women, if they can express their depth and their many and multiple voices inside themselves, it can be a richness for the human people. But what I think also, that if we had silenced, this is a catastrophe. We are against silence. We should talk. Everybody should talk. If he is living in Eskimo, or if he is living in any place in the world, because this is not just for one woman or one child or one family. It is for everybody. This affected everyone. How do you accept to live while there is genocide for people who are very from your race? They are human beings like you. They can be your sisters, mothers, fathers, anything. And for me, I think that writing is liberating me, because in daily life, I can't change things, but I can change it in my writings. And once before, maybe several years, we have a kind of union for women, or something like something for the progress of women. And they call me and they tell me, come with us to a school near Tul Karim in the north of Palestine. And I asked them why. They said, oh, because we made a competition between many schools in that area, and we asked the students, the girl students, to write what they want to be in the future. And we expected that they will ask to be politicians, like this or this or this, or like even, characters from the international field. But what was amazing for us, they said that they want to be writers, and they mentioned many of Palestinian writers, and you were between them. So come, because we will celebrate. So I feel very happy. It means that the new generation is trying to read and trying to have another road than because there is something stiff and very rigid in our old culture, like all the other people in the world. The old culture toward women, we're trying to put them in a cage. But now, for the new generations and the new life in the world, on the contrary, they try to give more space for the women and give them more ways to see things and many colors more than before. So I become happy at that time, and I felt that it means that what I am doing is working with the others. So it was a happy moment for me.
Una de las cosas más interesantes de la obra de Liana, que no está traducida todavía al español, esperamos que pronto tengamos la oportunidad de poder leerla en español, pero está editada en inglés, en árabe por supuesto, y también en francés, por si alguna persona quiere buscar sus obras. Una de las características que encontramos en tu obra también es que, por ejemplo, el ser palestino, uno de los rasgos identitarios que yo siempre digo como periodista lo que he visto es que no te dejen pasar en ninguna parte, en un aeropuerto, en un checkpoint. Y ella en su obra, por ejemplo, pues cuenta que en un checkpoint es un sitio para morir, matan a palestinos y palestinas en checkpoints, es un sitio para nacer, hay mujeres que dan a luz en la exposición que ella ha narrado con esa falta de intimidad, igual que ahora en Gaza lamentablemente tienen que dar a luz en las tiendas, pero también en una de sus novelas, un checkpoint es un sitio para celebrar un matrimonio. La expresión de la felicidad, del amor, cómo nace el amor, en una escritora, cómo nace esa escena del amor en una situación tan complicada realmente y agresiva.
Yes, I think that this subject was taken by cinema also, in the Palestinian cinema. We can mention also a film for one of the Palestinian directors called Elise Leman. He makes a film called Between the God's Hands. And it was about a love story between a man and a woman where this Israeli wall was separating them all the time. But for me, I wrote the scenario and story of a film called Rana's Wedding, or it has another name. It is Jerusalem in another time. And I wrote it about this love story, which is existed here and there, because we are all the time under the checkpoints, humiliation. You feel that you are not a human being if every time somebody should fetch you and try to find, search your body, search everything, and or to put you in prison just by like this without any reason. So, because the checkpoints is related to every Palestinian citizen. So when I wrote this story, in the end, there were a wedding coming on the checkpoints because there weren't any occasion or any chance for them to bring their families from there and to have a special place. So they make the wedding in the last of this film on the checkpoints. So I think that this checkpoints is very bad also for the colonizer because they think that they are higher than us and that we are not human beings and they have the full authority to control our movement and to threaten us. And for myself, it was very, very difficult for me during the taking of the camera shooting of some of my films about the Palestinian situation. We were threatened many times, and it was dangerous. Many times when we were trying to shoot something, although it is our country, we are shooting places, it is related for us, but all the time they were threatening us. Sometimes it was to the point of becoming very dangerous for us. So I think that if we should be free, we should live free in our own country. We should have our independence. Why to be all the time under such authority also? Also, you knew that the colonization and imperialism is just minimizing in the world. Why it is all, everything is concentrated on us. So that's it. I think it's a very painful subject for all the Palestinians. And also, all the time, there are tragedies on the checkpoints because the soldiers always, they kill people under many excuses on the checkpoints. They just shoot them, killing them, and that's all. And there wasn't any reason for this, and there was no accountability for them. Nobody asked them after that what you were doing. So it's threatening also. Yeah. I hope all this subject, that Palestinians will be free and they will be better in the future, even with what is going on now.
La tuya es una literatura militante. Es palestina y eres una mujer comprometida también. ¿Cómo están los grupos de mujeres escritoras en Palestina? ¿Cómo se está afectando la situación? Que evidentemente os está afectando negativamente. Pero, ¿por qué te lo pregunto? Yo recuerdo, como periodista, hace muchos años entrevisté a grupos de feministas en Gaza. Pues sí, había grupos de mujeres feministas en Gaza. Y siempre, tanto en Cisjordania como en Gaza, todas las organizaciones de mujeres me decían, cuando hay un momento malo en la ocupación, la agenda de género pasa a segundo plano siempre. En cambio, tú en tus escritos, porque bueno, además de la literatura ella también escribe artículos, produce, siempre dices que el género debe ser transversal, no debe ser algo aislado, que las mujeres debéis participar. La propuesta femenina palestina debe participar. ¿Tú crees que habrá sitio en el futuro para la propuesta femenina para una solución palestina?
I think that the gender issue in Palestine is very important because it had a lot of organizations to treat it and to talk about it and to follow about what is going on. And I think that these constitutions or these groups are trying to change things, it doesn't mean that it changes, because still we have problems for the women related to the old society. Still we have problems that there were sometimes attacking or killing women who ran away from their houses to, as an example, to marry somebody the family doesn't want it. So we still have this. But in the other side, we have always, more and more, a lot of brave girls who are studying, working, making what they want, learning things, having a new fields of trying things and knowing, or going to the knowledge or going abroad to study. We have this going with the other. We are not liberated completely because the occupation is a very big obstacle for us. Whenever women try to have some liberty, the occupation came and make all these problems. So we keep the old mentality about behaving bad with women if they want to have a free will or to have free choice in their future by any means of this. So I think there were a kind of gender in Palestine which is raising, like it has very special meaning coming from this special society. So I think that it's not easy for women who were before maybe 20 years sitting in the houses, that they are now working and going to universities or having training or making things far more. The distance is very good. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that we are free from our complicated behavior with women because of this occupation, which get us rid of all the human things we are needing to apply. How we can apply new laws if all the time we are under threat? So this is the thing we should bet on it for the future, that we should be better in this area. But for now, yes, there is another kind of gender. There is a special meaning of gender, which means that women are struggling to be free and to prove their places in the society. And if you know the numbers, the very huge numbers of women who are qualified, who are taking care of things, or they are making difference in the society, you become amazed. But this is what happens till now. And I hope that Gaza will be free and people will stay living, because till now we lost a lot of very good and professional and very special women in this tragedy and in this killing there, in the genocide.
Esta es la expresión de un deseo que compartimos. Y ya para finalizar, te voy a hacer una pregunta doble. Hablamos de la resistencia colectiva de los palestinos y palestinas para seguir defendiendo su proyecto de futuro a pesar de la dramática situación. ¿Cómo creas, Liana Badr, tu propia resistencia personal como escritora? ¿Qué disciplina personal te impones a la hora de crear para poder preservar el equilibrio en esta difícil situación contextual? ¿Y cuál es tu pronóstico para el futuro de Palestina? Con esto vamos a acabar nuestra conversación.
I can't predict the future, because nobody predicts the future of the earth itself. Because maybe one madman could bring some atomic bomb or make a problem everywhere. So I think that for this difficult situation, we were trying to adapt ourselves, because this is a long history for us. It is a long way. It's not the same moment coming now. For me, as a Palestinian living in Palestine, in Lebanon for many years, there were the civil war, and there were a lot of bombardment, a lot of problems of, weapons, snipers, many things. So I think that people are trying to adapt for this, because we are persistent to stay in the place and to keep our country. And we have steadfastness, although we are sometimes very sad, we can cry, we can shout, we can make many things. But in all of it, we have steadfastness, and we have this will to make things better in the future. We are peace lovers. Palestinians are between the most welcoming nations or people in the world, because in Palestine it gathers the places of three religions, the sacred places for three religions. So in the past they lived peacefully, and there weren't any problem between them. What is going on? That we are facing the occupation, which is a kind of colonization. And it's not something, it's also a very menace and very bad colonization, because it's not just coming and say hello and going. They are trying to kill people and take everything for themselves, which is something very fascist and bad. So for us, it's not our first. We will always struggle and work for peace, because peace is the normal thing between people, and because we are peaceful people. So what is going on? We are trying to find a way to stop it. Sometimes it seems that it is more than the capacity of the normal citizen between us. But let us wait and see. We are full of hope that we can resist, we can make our free future and free Palestine.
Bueno, pues esperamos la próxima obra de Liana Badr, nuestra escritora palestina, y también de corazón deseamos que haya paz y también justicia con Palestina, porque paz sin justicia no es posible. Gracias por darnos esta visión sobre una escritora en guerra. Gracias. Shukran jazilan laki.